All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to All Angles Boxing and Combat Sports Channel, episode number 23. We're coming to you live with Derrick Bemis, the man with the Gladiator Challenge. He's been doing this for, I don't know, umpteenth years. We'll let him tell you. And then we got Steve Torres as well, who also made his MMA debut on the Gladiator Challenge. And of course, our hosts, Cesar Garcia and Omar Batts, are joining us live, and we'll see if Brittany will come on here shortly. But gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Hey,
Coach.
So all right. All right, so we're gonna start with Derrick first. Derrick, if you can, do me a favor, brother. Tell everybody about your experience, how you ended up getting into the MMA world, and then how you got hooked up with the Gladiator Challenge, and what your role is with, inside and outside of the octagon.
Right, man. It's hard to even start. It's been such a long road, my brother. You know what I mean? I pretty much grew up in Compton, California. Tough area, you know what I'm saying? And at the age of, I believe, 10, I went to, karate. Bam, bam, bam. Became a karate black belt in Tang Soo Do. At the time, I think I was got my black belt when I was 16. Then I wanted to adventure to other stuff. So I found a local, just a straight up boxing gym in the hood, and right on the border of Lenox. Went in, mix it up with them a little, you know what I mean? Intertwined it my little karate with it all. And, that was all in Los Angeles, California. And then, after that, I ended up moving out to Orange County. That's where I met up with, I wanted adventure. So I started getting into some Muay Thai. So I started training with Team Punishment back in the days in Huntington, California.
Tito.
Yeah, with Tito Ortiz, Quentin Rampage Jackson, and the man Rob Razor. There's so many iconic names.
You was there, right?
Yeah, so many iconic people.
Incredible. Mm-hmm.
And that's at the time when I was doing it. That's when Tito was at his reign. That's when he was just smashing everybody. He'd come in with his UFC belt, the whole shebang, and I really got down with them. I fought a couple times, representing the Team Punishment at a couple fights, MMA fights. And then from there, we started having some really, really cool events in Costa Mesa. They were called the Hitman Fight Championship or something like that. It's early 2000. I mean, I'm just trying to put this off. I could go on. I'm just trying to put this short as I can,
Well, it's fine, man. Yeah, enjoy yourself.
And then so Tito and all those guys, I got in really good with the Team Punishment. And then I started helping the guys out with the Muay Thai, really started getting tight with them all. And then we had this one fight that we put on, the whole team punishment put it on, called the Hitman. And then they asked me to run security, for the fights. They're like, hey, bro, can you do security? Because I used to bounce at all the punk rock nightclubs and all that stuff in all Orange County. I was the bouncer, the head bouncer everywhere I worked.
Nice.
And so I got to kick it with, I was the stage manager at the House of Blues in Anaheim, like head security guy at the House of Blues for a minute. And so I got to be on stage with all my favorite bands, Cypress Hill, everybody,
Nice.
So they're like, yeah, we want you to run security for these hitmans. I'm like, I got you, So I started running security for them, and it was an amazing time. We had some great events, really, really fun times. I mean, it was pretty wild back in those days, before all the social media and before everybody had the cell phones that recorded everything and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, you wish you could have had some recordings of what was going on outside of the ring, outside of the octagons back then, right?
Yeah, it was crazy, because that's when Tito was dating the adult star, the Jim and James. Yeah. So you would go to like kickboxing class, and there would be all these like all the nightclubs, like, just it was a wild time. And I started doing all those events, and then started training heavily. And then I got at the point when I was doing my jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. And the only reason why I got into jiu-jitsu is because I was such a striker. Then I met some Brazilian cat, some black belt dude. And then he needed a place to train. So I hooked him up with my buddy's kickboxing gym. And then in exchange, we just did like free lessons, So I was getting my striking down. This was like, I've been doing jiu-jitsu now for like 20 years. And getting my striking down and, on the ground a lot. And then it came to a certain point. Then I fought for the Gladiator Challenge. Boom, went to war. They put me in there with a lion. This professional guy has like over 10 fights. Went to war with him. It was a great time. And then after that, that's when I ventured out even more. I've had a fight for Gladiator. I had a fight for this Hitman, or I think it was PFC, something like that. And so I wanted to venture more. And then I was blessed. I was so blessed and fortunate. I ran into the Gracie family, like Hidon Gracie, Henner Gracie, the Grandmaster Horian Gracie, the highest ranking jiu-jitsu guy in the world. They took me under their wing and ended up training with them hard for like 12 years straight with Hidon Gracie and Henner Gracie. Mm-hmm. And then just bam, jiu-jitsu was getting so good. So then I started doing all these submission jiu-jitsu championships. I have over 100 jiu-jitsu fights under my belt when it comes to jiu-jitsu tournaments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend. I was that guy that when you looked on this like, oh shit, it's that dude. He's competing at all the tournaments. I was that guy, at all of them. I just did all of them because I wanted to rack up all the medals. I was just medal hungry, And so, training with the Gracies, getting all these medals. Then I got sponsored by Toyota. And so they were paying me to compete and do jiu-jitsu tournaments. So I was traveling to San Francisco, Seattle, Washington, just competing all over, getting paid to do it. And God really opened some cool doors with that one. It was such a blessing to get paid by those guys, And
that is a blessing, man. Wow.
It was a blessing, And then one day I was kicking it. I've always been interested in judging and refereeing fights and all that stuff. So one day I was hanging out like at the Gladiator Challenge. I fought for them. I was a vet for them. I hung out with them all the time. And I was just talking to I didn't even know he was the main ref at the time, but he was like with the Athletic Commission, California Athletic Commission. He would, he had all this stuff going on. But I just went up to him and talked to him. I'm like, hey, bro, how do you get into this judging and this refereeing? Because it looks pretty fun. Like, you guys get paid to do that? And he's like, I'm like, yeah, sign me up. I want to do this. And so, he just kind of like took me under his wing. And now this guy's like all up in Europe and Hawaii and Russia. He's doing all the UFCs, all the Bellator MMAs. He's doing everything. And he took me under his wing, taught me a few things, gave me a few courses. And To make a long story short, here I am 15 years later, been working, judging, for the Gladiator Challenge. And now I'm helping them do all kinds of different things behind the scenes. And God's been so good. He's been blessing me so hard. I just moved out here near the Vegas area. And right when I came up here, the Utah Athletic Commission got a hold of me. And I got the commissioner coming down to train me from Salt Lake City to put me on board so I could be a part of the Utah Athletic Commission.
Congratulations.
It's such a blessing.
Congratulations. Yeah. That's a big feat right there.
Man, and when that happens, that means I could work all the events in the whole state. And plus they have the UFC in Salt Lake City now too. So that means I could do it.
Hey, Derrick, Cesar Garcia here. And let me ask you, I mean, the Gladiator Challenge promotion, I don't know. I want to say that it predates the legality of MMA in California. Does it?
Explain that to me. What does that mean?
Did it start before MMA was legal in California? Because I remember it way back in the days, and I remember driving to the Saboba behind the tap out guys. I remember they would always go to the shows at the Saboba. Was it legal already, or you guys have been doing it that long, right?
They've been doing it that long, and all of them, the tap out guys used to always be there. That's where they all started with the Gladiator Challenge.
I remember driving behind them on the freeway. Where's the event? Oh, just follow that Humvee. It was a Hummer, right?
Yeah.
Follow that Hummer right there. We'd follow the Hummer and we'd end up at the Saboba. It was crazy.
Yeah, always. That's where the fights were at all the time in Saboba. And they would have them outside in that huge tent.
So you mentioned that you fought for the Gladiator Challenge. So you weren't there at its inception. You weren't one of the ones that started it. How did you end up joining them as part of the promotion?
Oh, just because I was training so much, and that's when that's who we got a hold of. That's who was I had a couple buddies that were fighting for Gladiator Challenge, like a well-known MMA fighter and a couple people. They were just letting us know how you can get into it. And so, they put me on deck, you know what I mean? And I just got in the door, and I went in there and and I was at the prime time too. Like when I fought for it, I mean, you got guys like, I don't know if you guys know who Tony Lopez is. He's like an old school.
Long hair guy, right?
Yeah, long hair guy. Man,
yeah. I know Tony Lopez.
He was on the same card as me. I believe Uriah Faber, like in the heydays. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And all these dudes were all fighting at the Gladiator Challenge. That's pretty much everybody you see in MMA has fought. Like all your favorite fighters have fought for the Gladiator Challenge.
I was gonna say, can you name drop some of the guys that have fought for the promotion? But like you said, it's almost everybody, right? Everybody has gone through there at some point, and I mean, it's you guys honestly. To think that you guys are still doing shows, I gotta respect that, because a lot of the people that have not stuck around and you guys have been there are a constant. You and I mentioned the other guys that are there along with you guys, King of the Cage. You guys are constants. You guys keep feeding the upper levels with the new kids, and I respect for that, man. And hopefully you guys keep it going. And what kind of a future do you see for Gladiator Challenge?
Oh man, I'll tell you the truth, it's so cool to be a part of this, all right? Because I've been a part of it, like we're talking about from the beginning. And now for the future, man, the Gladiator Challenge is blowing up so much. It's so cool to see. We used to have just back in the day, we used to have this one group of guys that would come from Hemet, and they were just brawlers. They had no martial arts experience, but they went in there and got paid $300 to fight, whatever. So they were always in there, and it was very uneven. That was way back in the days. To see it come from that, and now we're at this point where, man, the last one we had Zion Clark fight, the dude who's missing half his body.
Yeah.
And man, he has 1 or 2.3 million followers or something like that.
Wow.
And it's getting bigger and bigger, and these shows are just going to get better and better. It's pretty cool to see, and it's cool to be a part of from the ground up to see where it's going now. You know what I'm saying?
That is incredible, man. You see what you're getting to become a part of there, Steve?
Yeah, it's a great organization. It's grown tremendously. Thank you to everybody that runs it.
Yes.
Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely, and they're like everybody. It's such a it's like a very family. You know, the promoters, the main guys are hardcore Christians. You know what I'm saying? They're like everybody's just, it's like a family run, really cool business. You know what I mean?
Right. Real quick, gentlemen, I'm gonna have to do some quick shout outs. I always got to pay homage to our supporters out there. Today, I want to say there's my primo Arturo Rodriguez from Denver, Colorado. Thank you, primo. My favorite fan, my biggest fan, my mother, Ernestine Trujillo. And then we got Rokas. Rokas is on board. Thank you for supporting us, brothers. We appreciate you. They got their Monday show, so tune into them as well. Paco Perez, brother, you're always supporting us. Cindy Amador, thank you for your support all the time. We have Lazaro Lorenzano. Congratulations. He won his fight last week in San Diego, fighting with Team Canelo. Congratulations. We want to get you back on the show as well, brother. We got Peter Acevedo. Pleasure. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for all your support. We appreciate everybody. Let's see, and I think that's pretty much about it for this second here. But I always got to pay homage to our supporters. Now, real quick, too. Well, Omar, do you have any questions for Derrick?
No, I don't right now. I was just taking it in. Honestly, everything you're saying, it sounds great. But it's nice to meet you. It's nice to hear your story and how you came up and how this all started. But yeah, I heard a lot of great things about you, and would love to hear more as we go on.
Absolutely, brother.
I have something, Omar. I want to ask if you can look it up. The Gladiator Challenge logo. It's iconic. Yeah. It's an iconic logo. That thing goes. I mean, anybody that sees that logo, you don't have to even ask what it is. It's Gladiator Challenge. If you can look it up, it's that beast dude that's wrapped up, the yellow guy. I think people should see that because they probably have seen it at some point in time or another. And Steve, I mean, you should be honestly proud to be fighting for them. I mean, what are we looking to do here? Because MMA, guys jump into MMA. Some guys do it for fun and it goes somewhere. Some guys come in with the idea of a career. I mean, what approach are you taking to this MMA fight game?
Thank you for asking that question. It started originally in the pandemic with jiu-jitsu, and we ended up doing striking at Carlson Gracie Riverside. Did a PKB in February at Ontario Convention Center. We did okay, so we decided to do MMA. We got that debut last week, so we're going to keep riding the wave as far as we can, keep trying to inspire others to do the same, to believe in themselves, and become the best versions of themselves. That's the goal.
Nice.
So tell us about your team. I know MMA takes a lot of pride in the team concept, and guys are proud of what gyms they represent. Give us a plug, man. Talk to us about your gyms and who you train under and stuff like that, because there's different coaches, right?
Yes, sir. So my boxing, I'm working with Coach David and Coach Alex Gonzalez at House of Pain Boxing in Temecula. My jiu-jitsu is under Carlson Gracie Riverside under Professor Sean Ruiz. And my Muay Thai currently is under Tony Giannopoulos at also Carlson Gracie Riverside. It all came together naturally, almost by fate. Decided to start training during the pandemic, try to change my life around. Ended up walking into those gyms, and I'm very grateful that I made that choice. It's changed my life completely ever since meeting everybody. Being on the podcast today has changed my life too, meeting all you guys. You guys are all very well respected in your communities, and I look forward to growing with you guys and becoming a symbol of hope like you guys are.
Yes,
you're on your way.
So 2 years ago, you're not even thinking about becoming a pro, and 2 years later, you're a professional now.
Oh, amateur. That was an amateur fight. It wasn't a professional fight. I had wrestled in high school back 2012. Didn't quite go my way. Didn't know what to do. Started working, man. Just decided it wasn't for me. I actually had family members pass away from COVID on ventilators, and it made me realize we have one life. Why not make the most out of it? People are going to talk about us regardless and hate on us, criticize us, but it's like that when you're on the spotlight. All we can do is continue to be ourselves, just how you guys do it in your businesses and communities. That's how I'm trying to do it.
Nice.
That's amateur? That's an amateur fight that we're watching right there?
Yeah, that was an amateur fight for me.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It looks pretty professional to me. Let me tell you.
Well, let's put it this way. Steve looked pretty professional.
Yeah, he looked.
Steve was
Thank
very
you.
well put together in that fight. He used his hands to get the guy's head back and give him his midsection. Picked him up. He not only picked him up, but he souffled him 3 times in 3 different rounds.
But correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But isn't amateur have shin guards on?
No,
No, I thought amateur MMA did it with shin guards.
no, just certain leagues, but not no.
Okay, so there's different amateur leagues that allow
Yeah,
different rules. Okay.
yeah, and pretty much they do it over there, right there at the professional setting. Like we follow the code pretty much to the T, and it's pretty cool because it's on a place where we could do all that. You know what I mean?
Well, and it gives these kids major experience. I mean, once they turn professional, it's going to be, it should be no big deal because they've done it before, right?
Oh yeah, it'll help them. What man? Once you get through this level, going to the next level is this is the tough level. Everybody's hungry, you know. But once you get to that next level, you're getting paid. You're doing good. Yeah. It's really awesome.
Yeah. So real quick, Derrick, you go back to Orange County about when I was out there working as I was working for a company called Prism Lithographic Technologies, and we used to always go to the Gutenberg Festival over in Long Beach. And I'm going to bring up a name of this bar, and I'm pretty sure it's going to hit some strings with you. And that bar was called Live Bait.
Oh yeah,
you remember Live Bait?
Yeah.
Oh man, well, Live Bait was over off of just right outside of Long Beach. This bar here had all the MMA fighters coming through there, but see, back then, that was when Tank Abbott was fresh and around.
Right.
So I seen Tank Abbott actually walk in there and wipe about 5 or 6 people out, like it was nothing. And it took about 20 people to get him out of there. He was just stone cold crazy, man, back in the day, you know.
Yeah, he was a monster.
Yeah, he sure was. And then not only Tank Abbott, if you remember Chris Brennan, he was out here in Murrieta. He had his MMA gym right next to our printing company and granite countertop company. And so that's he used to bring in Tito and all the guys from Orange County, and then they do their tap outs during the day or what have you. So I got to hang around him as well. And then while everybody was doing the underground, I was working with I worked with Mark Hall. We actually trained together. We trained our kids all together, and Mark taught him Greco-Roman, and then I taught him all the stand-up because I used to kickbox as well. So we taught our kids together for a few years, and this is when he was having the trouble with Ken Shamrock. Right. And when Ken Shamrock sneakered him, and he went to go get $1 million from him, and he turned it down, and he says, "I wanted to fight for the title." And then they found out his heart was bad, so he couldn't fight. So he lost $1 million, and he left, and he lost out on that. But God bless Mark, man. He was a good man back in the day. I don't know where he's at now, but I know he's somewhere out here in Southern California.
Yeah.
But we even threw an event, and it got shut down because he wanted to bring liquor in. And this event here had Dan Severn on there, Tito Ortiz. I could go back and name a few. And there we were stuck there, man, just left with nothing, man. They shut us down over here in Temecula.
Oh, my goodness.
But those are the good old days, man, when it was underground, you know, and if you did it right, you had it going on or what have you.
Sure, I know.
Yeah.
So his kids were Dylan and Sage, right? Yeah. That's great.
Yep, Dylan and Sage, man. Yes, sir. But I'll tell you, those kids, man, they were something else at the time. Real quick, another shout out, Charlene and Jamie Sandoval. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your support. Oh man, Red Hot Rob, man. Thank you for tuning in, Red Hot Rob, Denver, Colorado. House of Pain, baby. He just won his fight 3 weeks ago. He was on the show 2 weeks ago. Nice. Or last week, actually. Lee Woodward. Thank you, Lee Woodward, for watching. And we also had Lamar Rogers watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Ernie Marcus. What's up, Ernie? I got to corner with Ernie for Ernie's fight over at in Indio at Fantasy Fantasy Hot Springs with Red Hot Rob. So welcome, Ernie. Long time no see, brother. Pray you're doing well, man. He's a beacon in his community for sure as well. So real quick, Derrick, I wanted to ask you a little something. We since we've known each other, when I met you, you were coming to my gym,
Yes.
with your son, and you were wheelchair bound,
right?
And I'd like to get a little history and on your journey, and what Leonard Ibarra, which is watching as well. Leonard, thank you for watching. Calls it life lags. We call these life lags, things that happen to us that stop us in our careers or in our lives. Would you care to share with any of that with our audience? I think it's a beautiful story.
Yeah, so pretty much I had a life-changing experience on June 1st of last year. I got hit pretty hard on my motorcycle, and right on the freeway, right on the 15 freeway on my Harley, cruising after a beautiful day in Oceanside, having some lobster with my girl on the pier. Cruising home, almost home, like a mile left, to get on my exit, and somebody just pulls out right in front of me, like, no warning, no nothing, and I just T-bone, boom. All I remember is, it's crazy to even think about it because it's such like a bad, vivid memory, but all I remember is like slow motion going into the car and just saying, oh shit, and then boom, it knocked me out when I made impact with the car. And I woke up in the middle of the freeway, woke up in the middle of the freeway. And right at the time I was doing this, I was training with all the, all the top jiu-jitsu guys in the world. I was training with them. I still want to compete, still hungry. I want to win all these gold medals, training with all these Brazilian black belt cats. And I was going pretty strong, and then that happened. Boom, woke up, got hit, woke up on the freeway. And, I was just knocked out. Busy day. I remember hearing like all the traffic behind me, the cars, bam, bam, accidents behind me. And then, I tried to get up and looked at my leg, and it was just, my leg was pouring out blood like a waterfall. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I just put my head back down on the freeway, looked up, saw, I saw like 20 people surrounding me. It was like a warm summer day. It was in June. The sun beating on me. Then the pain started kicking in from, my legs. So I started shaking real bad and bleeding all over, going in and out. But thank God, in the traffic behind me, there was 3 off-duty nurses and there was 1 off-duty firefighter. And they came, they had some medical supplies. They started taping up my leg because, I had the bone.
Looks like you got
an hour later, because it was a busy day, the ambulance comes, get me in the ambulance, started pumping me with all kinds of stuff, and got rushed to the hospital, had an emergency surgery, but I had so many cuts and so many like skin and cuts hanging off my leg. They just had to do 1 surgery to just get all that bleeding under control. And I was there. I was in the hospital for like 3.5 weeks, couldn't move, from being so active and doing everything I was doing. And, then make a long story short, it was a super crazy experience, but I ended up getting a metal rod going through my leg with 9 screws on my knee. And from having no injuries whatsoever to having that, and then, but make a long story short, brother, I'm still here. It changed my life. It's been like a life-changing experience. I feel like I'm rebirthed. Like I feel like I'm a whole new person. I moved. I changed locations. I changed everything up.
Mm-hmm.
It's still hard for me to walk, but I push it every day. And I never even left. Like I was going to the gym in my wheelchair, lifting weights in my wheelchair. All these kids coming up to me, you're such an inspiration, bro. And I'm like, yeah, man, this is just like my sanity, and my son, you remember my son, Dave, he came down.
Yes, sir.
My son's in the Navy, and he was coming down. He had like leave to help me. He was with me for like 4 months. Then he split. I was all on my own. And But now I'm stronger than ever. I'm back on it, and all these opportunities that came up just because of the badness. I just never gave up, still had faith, and now all kinds of cool stuff's happening over it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, man, you definitely are an inspiration, man. You and my wife, who I call the original nuts and bolts, who was hit head on by a drunk driver. You guys shared your stories together, man, and you can see that God is working in your life, her life, our lives, all around us. I I gotta tell you, man. To be able to fight through this every single day when it's so easy for people that don't have any injuries or don't have no problems or don't have those type of issues with their bodies, and they still lay down and
Yeah.
they still go dormant. So that being said, man, thank God for you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate who you are. You're to be admired. I admire you. I'm a big fan of yours, bro. You know that, and we're going to be doing a lot of good things together. Hopefully, in the future, we'll be doing a lot of fun stuff. Caesar's right there. All of us are going to be right there,
Beautiful.
involved, man, because that's what you attract. You attract good people.
Thank you.
And the other people just bounce right off. We know how that works, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a question, Steve. 'Cause one person who looks like has taken no damage after he just fought is Steve. So I mean, you just fought, you said, but you're looking clean as you're looking pretty clean. So are you looking to get right back into the octagon again, or can I call it an octagon cage? Can you get back in the cage again?
Yeah, we're not in no rush. We got a lot of time to work our game. MMA is a wide variety of skills, and it's also a brutal game. So you want to be well prepared. Everybody that shows up at Gladiator shows up to fight. I know Derrick had his fighter headline against the lightweight champion Jacob Beam, and he came out like a bat out of hell. Went out on his shield like a fucking warrior. So those are the fights you get at Gladiator. You want to be well prepared for that. So possibilities are open, and we're just waiting right now, man. Getting better every day.
Yes.
So was it what you expected getting in there and throwing down? And it's the real deal, that amateur fight, was pretty real. It didn't have no protective nothing other than the gloves, So was it what you expected?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a wild ride. It was a rush, hell of experience, man. I'm glad I signed up and did it. I'm always gonna look back at that moment and know that I did a great thing with people surrounding me, great people supporting me as well. So it was wild.
Yeah,
it's awesome, man.
Respect to you guys for sure.
How was it working with Alex?
Alex actually was a great coach. I actually met him at a job out in Paris. We were working in a warehouse, and we were just talking about fighting. We were both fight fans. We love the game. He's a student of the game in boxing, and I grew up watching UFC ever since BJJ Penn, GSP, Frank Shamrock, Tito Ortiz, the Honey Beach Bad Boy, all those guys, bro. I was looking up to him. So to hear you guys talk about those guys brings back a lot of memories for me as a kid. Now I'm here, so it's a great experience nonetheless.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, Alex is a good dude. He's a good boxing coach for sure. He's one of my really good friends. I grew up with him, so that's cool to see him, hand off some boxing knowledge to other fighters, and and see how his work grows and stuff. So that's really cool. So shout out to him.
He welcomed me. He welcomed me with open arms. Shout out God Gifted. He's a true coach. So did Coach David and everybody at his gym. They really set the example in the community. It's not just about being an angry thug. We want to lead through example and show the kids that they can do it too. So I appreciate all those guys.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I saw Alex's work for you in the octagon, and man, big shout out to Coach Alex, man. He's a great trainer, dedicated trainer, very well skilled, very disciplined. So we really love having him in the gym, and we just appreciate him and all you guys being a part of the big House of Pain family.
Hey, Derrick, what's kind of cool is that, just so you know, I used to go to the Ultimate Training Center in Huntington Beach. I trained, I was only there for jiu-jitsu. I was really just having a good time. I trained under, I don't know if you know, Valdomiro Perez Jr. So I can say that was my
lost reception for a second.
I'm saying I trained at the Ultimate Training Center for some time under Valdomiro Perez Jr.
Right.
And I remember seeing Razor Rob there and Tiki and those guys. And at the time I was just a fan, so I would just be tripping out like, and these guys, I like watch them on TV all the time, and and then here they are, which was kind of cool. So, I mean, you come from that's a pretty good legacy of gyms at that time. I mean, what gyms are you with right now? I know you say you're injured and you haven't been, but you had been training. Are you representing any particular gym right now?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Is it my phone? Is it my
phone?
No,
I believe it's his.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Got to get closer to your Wi-Fi.
Hey, Steve, though, but for reals, you're fighting under a promotion that, I mean, everybody, a who's who has gone through there, bro. So really, we look forward to seeing you advance and represent, man. We like to see local guys come through and get far. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that like 2 years ago, you're not, or I mean, you were really not nowhere near becoming a professional, and here you are now. I mean, what made you? I always said fighters are born. So I know you didn't just start fighting. You didn't think about doing this 2 years ago. You probably something that was in your mind for a long while, right? How long before? What made you decide to make that jump to actually do it?
Honestly, man, my whole life, we've always been into fighting. When I lived in Santa Ana, Orange County, we'd get together on the weekends with family and barbecues. We'd watch boxing fights. Oscar De La Hoya against Shane Mosley, Manny Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez. Right after those fights, our uncles would put the gloves on us and make us fight each other. And, growing up, you can't be the hollow. You got to get in there and defend yourself. So once we moved out here, it was the same thing. Me and my older brother had to Taekwondo, and we were kind of picked on. So me and him always stuck together. We never picked fights, but we for sure ended them. When I was working during the pandemic, it was just like a lot of, death and illness. And it was sad to see that a lot of people, unfortunately, aren't with us today. So just a reminder that we have one shot in life, and we got to make the most of it. So why not chase our dreams? I remember UFC was doing Fight Island, and I seen one of my high school wrestling coaches was cornering Roosevelt Roberts, the Predator. And I realized, like, oh, okay, he's up there. What's so special about him? He's a man just like me. God put us on this planet for a purpose, and he made us all equal. So why not go in there and test ourselves?
A true test it is, right? You learn a lot about yourself when you're in there, correct?
Absolutely. Even before that, even before stepping in preparation, there's injuries, there's doubts, criticism, rumors, all kinds of stuff, and you have to learn to block that out. And it's like anything else in life, any goal that you have, if you really want it, you will be challenged for it, and it's up to you to make it to the top. No one's going to help you. No one's going to wake you up. You're the one that's got to go after it. And that's the biggest thing I've gotten from fighting is discipline.
But what did you learn about yourself in this fight?
That I learned I can push through it. That when I really want something, I can put my mind to it. I can block out all that negativity. I can calm myself, not go out wild and reckless, but as a true martial artist, focus and find my balance and perform for those that I love and those that support me. That's what I realized about myself.
I like the fact that you said martial artist, because that's what anybody that fights, that's what they are, right? Including boxers. And as a martial artist, what would you consider yourself first? I mean, nowadays these MMA kids are everything, right? They're not one particular discipline, but they all begin with one. What would you consider yourself if I said, what kind of a martial artist are you?
I'm going to be myself, and I'm going to be unique. I consider myself a Mexican luchador. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to grapple heavy. I'm going to make it known that we're there to put you to the floor, send you straight to hell. That's how we start off with. But again, MMA is it's a broad spectrum. So if it doesn't work out like that, we're going to scrap on the feet. We're going to throw those hands, we're going to throw those feet, eventually the knees and the elbows, but we'll get to that part later.
I should get you a mask. Maybe you just called me.
That'd be cool, man. That'd be cool.
El Huracan.
The challenge will let you fight in one.
All right, man. That'd be cool.
I got a question. Did you step into MMA as a boxer first, or were you a wrestler, or did you just go in just like, I want to do everything? Or
So I had wrestled previously in high school, and I had like a few fights, man. You know, it's just how it is. So I'm not scared to get hit or throw back. I did box for a little bit in high school with Andre Yu at United Brazilian. He ended up making it to the UFC. Now he's doing bare knuckle fighting. So I had him for a year. Then I started in 2020 doing jiu-jitsu with Sean Ruiz. He helped me get to my blue belt. Shout out to him. He's the master for me. He's helped me out a lot, and jiu-jitsu is a way of life. Showed me more than just fighting. Showed me how to conduct myself as an individual. Once we did a few tournaments out here and started winning, we said, why not? You know, let's add the striking in, the boxing, the Muay Thai, and let's see if we can mix it up.
That's awesome, man. So you would say you're a well-rounded fighter?
Right now we're just getting started. You know, we had one fight. I don't want to go and toot my horn and say I'm great or nothing. I'm going to be my hardest critic, and I'm going to say that we still got a lot to work on. And that'll always be how I conduct myself.
Sounds good, man. Oh yeah.
True martial artist way right there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So real quick, let me throw a couple shout outs again. We got Ruben Sandoval. What's up, brother? Local brother here from Pachanga. Ruben, welcome. Thank you for your support. Ricky Gallegos, thank you, Ricky. Jesse Moreno, thank you for turning in, brother. That's Temecula Boxing right there. Raul Lizarraga, the champ, ABO and GBO champs coach. He's watching. He's always supporting us as well. Thank you, brother, for supporting us. Looks like the nuts and bolts tuned in. We got that's Mary Trujillo, who's my wife, and then we got Robert Atencio. Thank you, Robert, for tuning in, sir, for always giving us that support. Roka, so we got your the boxing rundown for you tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow, Monday, at the boxing rundown. You won't be disappointed. Real quick, Omar, would you mind putting on a clip of Steve's fight there so we could take a look at it, and so he could show us his how his boxing ability got him to go through the takedowns. I call him souffles.
Your fight, you did really good, brother. You did really good.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Again, great crowd, great atmosphere. Gladiator, it's second to none.
Oh.
What part of the MMA game do you? I mean, I don't want to put your game out on the internet or whatever, but just curious, what part of your game do you struggle with the most that you think to yourself, man, I need to work on this because this is where I can get got. You know what I mean?
Yeah, again, man, it's all of it. It's all of it. You know, there's wrestlers out there that are Division I champions, national Americans, BJJ black belts. There's Muay Thai strikers that came into MMA. You don't know who's gonna get in there, so it's really how well you can put it together and how you can make it a variety. So I would say I struggle with all of it, and I'm gonna keep working at it. So it can never be perfect, but I'm gonna try to get it all perfect.
I'm gonna pull it up right here.
That's pretty crazy because my respect to MMA fighters, I always said MMA fighters, man, if you offer them a fight for Saturday, they'll take it. And first, and then they'll ask questions later. It's crazy, you know what I mean? So it's better than things. But I mean, if I were to offer you a fight for this weekend, you ready to go or what? Let's do this.
How much you gonna pay me? That's number one, and number two, like if I don't got
it. So it's not a no. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I didn't have no fights. I was just curious.
Well, May 6th is the next Gladiator Challenge.
2 months.
May 6th. April, May. Okay. So Gladiator Challenge, do you go into each year? Do you go into with a number of events you want to do, or do you kind of do it per quarter, or how do you plan your schedule? Because it's a pretty busy schedule.
Oh, right now we're pumping as well. We're doing really busy, so we're having them every 2 months, pretty much.
So just the machine rolling.
Every 2 months, we should be having fights.
I mean, do you have already your set dates for how long out? Do you have set dates?
We have 1, 2. So we have May 6th, and then we have, I believe it's May, April, and then it's like right before the 4th of July. Right before the 4th of July.
Well, those are set, and then after that, I mean.
But then after that, I think we're going to go back to the bigger venues, like the really dope one, the Agua Caliente in Palm Springs, and the Saquon in San Diego, where you're actually in a legit, really nice arena, you know?
Right.
Yes.
You stay pretty busy. So whoever's booking your events, I mean, if it's you, respect, because it's not an easy thing to do. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's a full-time job for the whole cast. They're doing really good at it right now. They're doing really good.
Nice.
In case you didn't know, Caesar is a promoter in Mexico.
Nice.
And he, then I'll tell you what, talk about exotic events. If you guys ever want to see a beautiful boxing venue along with the beautiful world that he's brought us to out there, Grito de Guerra is second to none out there. I mean, it's just phenomenal. We got to go. We're hooked. We can't wait for another one. And I know he's always working on something. He's got some big things he's working on as well. But we'll have to invite everybody up to come and see the fights out there. It's where you go to hang out in the pool and enjoy yourself and run into a fight.
It is fun. It is fun. It's absolute fun right there. But I'll tell you, I've been getting a lot of calls and a lot of requests to bring MMA down there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe Gladiator Challenge might be willing to make an appearance in Mexico. Have you guys ever done anything in Mexico?
No, never done nothing in Mexico. I know a couple of my friends just opened up jiu-jitsu gyms in Mexico too, where they're doing very successful, you know, so there's
MMA is humongous.
Yeah.
MMA is humongous, and Muay Thai is a lot bigger than people would think. So I mean, it's just a matter of time before MMA is pretty mainstream. It's almost there. And
It is.
the UFC, what, 3 champs now?
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna make some noise.
Growing sport in the world. It's crazy.
So let's do this. Mexico.
Yeah.
Gladiator Challenge.
Yeah, let me talk. Let me see what we can do about that. That'd be amazing. That'd be so cool. That'd be so fun. It would probably be just busy and packed. That'd just be awesome, you know.
MMA is huge in Mexico.
Yeah.
It is huge in Mexico. It is. Real quick, and I don't mean to jump off the subject but this has been on my mind since I've been talking to Steve. Now, Steve, I wanted to talk to you about your passion of exactly where you're at in your world today and why you're doing exactly what you're doing. You had brought up some things there that I think would be really inspiring for people to know what's happening in your journey and why you're here, brother.
I've always been one to, I guess, try to help others, you know, just the way like they help me. You can either be a good person or a bad person in this world, good energy or bad energy, man. We all have had people help us to get to where we are, mentors, coaches, senseis, masters, whatever you want to call them. Somebody reached out and helped us out, gave us that lending hand for us to be successful. That's what currently drives me right now. The more I guess I succeed, the more I find myself under a spotlight, and it kind of reminds me the way I have to conduct myself. You know, I have to lead by example. I feel that every time I walk into a House of Pain, you know, you got the kids program there. They're looking to be something in life too when they grow up. When they watch us, they know what we're doing, and that gives me a lot of pride knowing that the next generation drew inspiration from me. I have family members again that passed away from COVID, unfortunately. I know people lost family members as well. I have to say it was a pretty dark time for a lot of people, but in those dark times, you can't lose hope. Just like how Derrick was in his accident, I'm pretty sure a lot of people told you, hey, you're never going to walk again, you're never going to do what you love again, and you didn't listen to them. You kept fighting because you're a fighter at heart, and a lot of people have that fight in them. They just need somebody to bring it out and show them that they have it too. So when I was given this opportunity, I reflected on it and really just decided to put all the cards down and go in all in on it and try to be the best inspiration I can for others. I help my family out too. You know, all the money that I make is for them. You know, I don't do this just for myself or for any attention. I want to provide the best life for them, for my nephews who I take care of. They look at me every day and they ask me, what am I doing? Why do I do it? And those kids are going to pick you apart and follow you. So you want to do the right things always. And that's, again, a part of martial arts that's helped me grow as a person is learning to inspire others the right way, not the wrong way.
Oh, now you're your nephew's guardian. right? You took over
Yeah,
guardianship over them.
he was abandoned shortly after he was born. Unfortunately, his parents weren't doing too well. I had to make a decision. Choose myself or choose them. And, I've had, like I said, uncles in the past help me, my dad, his brothers, family members, even people that I don't know, some people that just took me under the roof, fed me, took me to church, praised the gospel to me, gave me the inspiration, or maybe just lend out gas money. So there's always somebody there to help me to keep me going in my journey. So I have to pay it forward. And I hope to do that with not just my family, but with other kids that I cross paths with. A good example is Alex and Danny Alcaraz at House of Pain. They were training with me the entire time, getting ready for this fight. I know they're very motivated. They got a fight next Saturday. I know they're both going to win. They're going to dominate in a spectacular fashion. That's stuff I like to do for the community.
Yeah. Well, you fit our mold. You fit our mold. You definitely fit our mold. Derrick understands it. We all fit the same mold. I come from a martial arts background as well, not only just boxing, and so therefore the respect and just for your craft and for everybody around you and the energy for everybody around you. When you come from a martial arts background, it's an unspoken word. Boxers get it, but not like the martial arts gets it. As long as we're talking about history, martial arts, present day martial arts has changed. There's a lot of rogue trainers out there, a lot of rogue gyms who don't carry on the the legacy of the old masters, and it's sad to see that the rogue gyms out there. But anytime that I've ever ran into Derrick or to you, Steve, just like all our guys at House of Pain, everybody has nothing but respect for each other. And there is nobody in that gym or anybody around us we're all equal. There's nobody better than anybody, starting from me all the way to the smallest child that we have underneath that roof. We're all there for the same purpose, and so it's just an honor to have you under the roof. It's always an honor to have Derrick walk into our gym. He's House of Pain, regardless, no matter what, too. It's just a blessing to continue that mode, and anybody else that doesn't fit in, they end up seeing their way out anyway because they don't feel comfortable, But I just want to tell everybody here that we all understand that. I know Caesar, he's an big time MMA fan, and so he understands that. And then Omar, himself is just naturally comes out that way. He's just a beautiful soul. So everybody we have here that's on board, man, I just really appreciate it, But coming back to it, does anybody have any last words for Steve right now?
Man, Steve, you're doing great, brother. You have the right mentality. You got that faith behind you, brother. You got that jiu-jitsu mentality. And just keep doing what you're doing, man. Sky's the limit for you, brother. You have so much potential. Don't ever give up, brother.
Thank you, Derrick, for the words of encouragement and inspiration. I appreciate you, bro.
Definitely, brother.
I agree with Derrick. The mentality you have, bro, is refreshing and good to see, and it makes me want to cheer for you as you become a fan of people that you appreciate their story, and so I'm a fan, and I want to see you come through, man. I want to say, we talked to that kid when he was on his way up, and now we want you to get to the top. Hopefully, we see you there someday, and then hopefully you stay as humble as you are now.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you too.
Absolutely.
Omar?
You guys come out to out here next to Zion. I'm working a fight called Crown Fighting Championships. We're doing that every 2 months as well, and it's a beautiful MMA event. Maybe in the future, if you ever want to travel and fight, I could get you a fight out here. It would just be awesome, brother.
Yeah, I'm down. Always down to scrap. Always ready to put on a show, especially when it comes to a great organization and a great promoter like yourself, Derrick. You already know. Hit my line. I got you, bro.
Yeah. Omar, any last words for Steve?
No, it was very nice to meet you, and hear your story, and I hear how you train, and hear how, how motivated you are. And same, brother. I'm excited to see you too. I want to be updated on your next fight, and support you as well, man. We're here for you as well. We're always gonna be supporting you. We're always gonna be promoting your fights up here. And yeah, man, it's very nice to meet you.
It was very nice to meet you too. I'm deeply indebted to all of you for the support. I will remember this. I will, no matter how far I go. I started here with you guys in California, SoCal. You already know, man. It's a
Yeah,
place
man.
to be.
If you need media work, bro, photos, videos, promos, I'm here for you, bro. That's what I do.
Oh, cool, bro. I appreciate that so much, man.
No problem, brother.
Well, Steve, I'll tell you, man, just keep on doing what you're doing, man, and keep that motivation going, the focus that you have and the passion, especially that you have for your nephews. Let that drive you. Let that be your driving point, man. Don't ever lose focus of that, and you're going to do fantastic. I saw you walk in there. You were probably I want to say about I would say about 5%, maybe 6% body fat. Is what I would have calculated it at. So that tells me the discipline that you have. I've not only been in boxing for a long time, but I bodybuilt for 23 years. So I completely when I see somebody who's in shape, I could tell right away that the discipline, and that type of discipline right there is what makes you champion. The discipline in the gym, the discipline outside of the gym, the discipline in your nutrition, just disciplined all the way around, and it shows when you show up to those fights. So I got to commend you for that discipline, brother. I see it and I recognize it. So know that it's not unnoticed.
Thank you, Coach David. I appreciate that, man. It means a lot.
You're welcome. Now, right now, does anybody have any last questions for Derrick, Mr. SoCal MMA?
I don't got no questions, but I just gotta say, keep it going, bro. You guys are one of the OG promotions in MMA. I want to say SoCal MMA, but I think you guys are above that already. You guys are a national promotion, and keep it going, man. It's good to see that you guys are still around and that you plan on staying around. Keep
Absolutely.
pumping kids out.
It's a blessing, part of it all. It's a true blessing, brother.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, this is going to conclude our 23rd episode at All Angles Boxing and Combat Sports Channel. We want to bless everybody that's on here, bless everybody that's joined in. Says here, Paco Perez says, Cindy Alacrama Anador, ex-boxing champion, wants to come and see one of your fights, Steve. So we're going to have to keep them in the loop. So we're going to have to keep on promoting you, unfortunately, which is a beautiful thing. So we're going to get everybody out there to come out here and see you. You're going to pick up a lot of fans from here. It's worth it, everybody. I'm going to tell you that right now. Steve is worth the drive. Steve is worth the watch. He shows up. He gets down every round he has to until he takes him out. And that's what you got to look forward to for him. And like I said, that discipline alone is just phenomenal. So blessings to you. Anybody have any final words?
Hey, brother, if you want to come, if you're not going to fight on May 6th, if you just want to come and watch, you're more than welcome to, brother. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely, Derrick. I appreciate the invitation. I'm a little new to the scene in the community, but just want to, we're all family. We all have the same passion and drive. I want to thank you for putting on those shows, for not giving up and continuing your journey. So without you, I wouldn't have had my opportunity. So blessings to you, to your family, to your loved ones, to your fighters and your gym.
Same to you, brother. Blessings to you all, man.
Thank you.
All right. Well, this is going to conclude our session. I want everybody to stay on real quick before we're going to go off air, but I want everybody to hang on real quick because, Derrick, I got a couple questions for you. Me and Caesar have a couple questions for you. Anyway, everybody, have a blessed week. Be prosperous and stay well. We'll talk to you next Sunday.
Os.